What is up, you guys? Pastor Casey here. Look, I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. I'm just here, just got off of work, and just wanted to do a real quick video. You know, I've been teaching apologetics to the youth group at my church, and one of them sent me a video today, and I've been going through some of these. They send me these TikTok videos of atheists and progressive Christians or whatever. And before I get started in this, I do want to say that whether they're atheists, whether they're progressive Christian, whether they're homosexual, whatever they are, I do love them, every single one of them. In fact, even in my youth group last night, we had an atheist that joined our youth group. Well, didn't join the youth group, but joined the class last night. And he had a really good time because we treated him with love and respect. And we even allowed him to ask questions, and we answered. So that's the way that we should be as Christians. We should be loving and compassionate to one another. Even those who disagree with us, we need to be loving in how we have dialogue and stuff like that, because a lot of times there's a reason why people believe what they believe. So with that being said, this TikTok video that I'm about to show you was sent to me by one of my teens in my youth group, or one of my students actually. She's actually moved on to the college and career. But they sent me this TikTok, and they wanted me to kind of go over it. So watch this, check it out, and then when it's done, we'll have some more to talk about. So see you in a minute.
God either gave us free will or he's all-knowing, but it can't be both. If he's all-knowing, then that means he already knows everything that's going to happen in the future, which also means that our actions cannot deviate from his predictions, or else he would be wrong, which means he's not all-knowing. If God knows you'll pick choice A, then you cannot pick choice B. If you do pick choice B, then he would be wrong and he's not all-knowing. You have to pick choice A. And if God knew you were going to pick choice A and you pick choice A, then that's not free will. You cannot have free will with an all-knowing God.
All right, so to break this down just a minute before I have another video I want you to see that actually explains this pretty deep. So what she's saying is that God can't be all-knowing and us have free will at the same time. And to be honest with you, I do understand what she's saying here. And there's a little bit of a fallacy that we'll break down, but I do understand what she's saying. This is something that, you know, a lot of people have struggled with their entire lives. And it's one of the things that as Christians, sometimes it's hard for us to answer really, really well. So with that being said, I do want to turn your attention to one of my favorite scholars. I believe he's one of the best in this area, and his name is Dr. William Lane Craig, and he wrote the book On Guard and Reasonable Faith and stuff that I've actually been going through with my youth group. So you guys, it's a short clip. Watch this video and listen to Dr. Craig break it down.
My name is Shiloh, and I'm a philosophy major at UCF, and I've been actually talking with Phil a lot just about the idea of God's omniscience kind of and/or foreknowledge, and the idea of free will. And I mean, you briefly mentioned it earlier, but I just want to hear your thoughts on, you know, the idea that, you know, are we, obviously we have some sort of free will, but how does that work in regard to God's omniscience and foreknowledge?
Well, the Bible teaches that God foreknows everything that happens. The New Testament has a whole vocabulary of Greek words with the prefix pro, P-R-O, like prognosos, for knowledge, pro-martureo, foretell, praorizo, foreordain. So the New Testament clearly teaches that God has foreknowledge of all these things that are going to happen. Now, the fatalist says that if God foreknows what you're going to do, then when the time arrives for you to do it, you're not free to do anything else, because God cannot be mistaken. And since he has believed from eternity that you're going to do it, that means you're fated to do it. It seems to me, however, that the argument for logical or theological fatalism commits a fallacy in modal logic. This is the logic of necessity and possibility. The fatalist reasons like this: necessarily, if God foreknows X, then X will happen. 2, God foreknows X. 3, therefore, necessarily X will happen. So, premise 1, necessarily, if God foreknows X, then X will happen. 2, God foreknows X. 3, therefore, necessarily X will happen. And if X happens necessarily, it means it's not free. That commits a logical fallacy. From the two premises, you cannot deduce that necessarily X will happen. All that follows is simply X will happen, but not necessarily. It could fail to happen. But if it were to fail to happen, then God would have foreknown something different. So by your actions, you have the ability, by what you do, in a sense, to determine what God will have believed in the past. His knowledge is sort of like an infallible barometer of the weather. The barometer never fails. It's always right. But clearly, the barometer doesn't determine the weather. If the weather were different, the barometer would have been different. So the foreknowledge of God is like an infallible barometer, and you're free to do whatever you want, but you're just not free to fool the barometer. God knows whatever it is you do. So your action is logically prior to what God foreknows, but his foreknowledge is chronologically prior to what you do.
That was great. Thank you.
Sure.
All right. So now you have it. Dr. Craig breaks this down, gives us really good detail in the fallacies here, kind of that she's bringing up. And so what I want to do, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because Dr. Craig said it best in only about 3 minutes. He shows that there's a huge fallacy in that view. But what I want to do is I want to give you a couple of analogies. What she said is that if there's a choice A and a choice B, and God knows that you're going to choose choice A, then there's really no such thing as a choice B, and that you're going to choose choice A, you don't have free will at all. Here's the problem with that. God isn't all determining, which some people might believe that he is. I don't believe so. I do believe in free will. The thing that she's arguing here is that God would be all determining, meaning not necessarily foreknowledge, but that God is all determining. So, in other words, she's taking it a step further in that God would choose that you would have choice A, or would choose that you would have choice B throughout your entire life, that God would choose all the steps that you make. That's not necessarily the case with foreknowledge. There's a difference in God knowing what you're going to do and you doing it than him causing you to do it. For instance, let me give you an analogy real quick. So say that I watched a football game that was live and I DVR'd it. Watched the entire game. I know the outcome. I know how many rushing yards the running back's going to get, how many passing yards. I know the outcome of the game. All right, so I know the full outcome. I've got it DVR'd. Well, that game's DVR'd on my TV, and just say my friend comes over to watch the game, okay? He wants to come over and watch the game with me. Well, I've already seen the game, so I know the outcome. In this analogy, I would be, I'm not God, but in the analogy, I would be God, okay? I know the full outcome of this game. I know every choice that the people are going to make. I know everything. Well, my friend watching the game in real time does not know. He does not know what counterfactuals, what choices that they're going to make or anything. And he does not know the outcome. We in this life are him, my friend that does not know the outcome. But the one that's already seen the game and DVR'd it and knows the outcome, that would be like God. But me knowing the outcome and have DVR'd the game, does that mean that I was able to intervene in the free will and the choices that the players made on the field? Absolutely not. I just knew what they were going to do. God is outside of our time. He knows the end from the beginning from the end. So he does know all the choices that you're going to make. In fact, another way that I describe it is like this. It's like a spider web. Okay, and you're in the middle of this spider web and you've got all these different choices that you can make. And every choice that you make is another choice that you will have to make. And so you make choice A, rather than choice B, C, D, or E, because it's more than just choice A or B. And you make choice A, and then, okay, you've made choice A, so that's going to open up more choices and more choices and more decisions. That's how your life is. Life is full of choices and decisions that you are free to choose. God knows which free choice you're going to make. And when you make that choice, he knows the outcome of that choice. That's how it works with God. One more quick analogy that I'll give you real quick is my children. I have, I'm a father of 2 beautiful girls, and I know many times what my girls are going to do. I know that I know what they're going to act. I know how they're going to react. I know every morning that Alina is going to get up and get ready for school pretty much on her own without me and my wife really doing anything. Most of the time, that's what she does. I know that. And I know that Kinley is going to have to be woke up every single morning. I just know that. Does that remove the free choice that they have? Absolutely not. I know what they're going to do. That's how it works with God. God knows. For instance, for pizza lovers, if I lay a piece of pizza down in front of you and I lay some vegetables down in front of you and you love pizza and you're not on a diet, well, I know that 90% of the time, probably more, you're going to choose the pizza over the vegetables. I already know what you're going to do. But does that remove the free choice that you have to choose the vegetables? Absolutely not. So, can we have free will and God still be all-knowing? Absolutely. Absolutely. We can have our free will and God still know all things. So anyways, I love you guys. I appreciate you for watching this video, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I hope this has helped. If it hasn't, or you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you, Dr. William Lane Craig, for all of your good stuff that you always produce all the time. I love you all, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. See ya.